Hey guys, welcome to Fun and Gun. Got a pretty fun one here for you today. This is something I've been messing with for quite a few years now, and that is waxed bullets made by a company called CowboyFastDraw.com. And they make these in 38 Special and 45 Colt. And the reason that these are only really made in revolver calibers is because they're primer fired only, and the primer actually just sits into the back of the case. And let's go ahead and get into why that is. So when you go on the website and you're looking to pick these up, you're going to see these specifically made, or brass specifically made for this. And they offer these in a few different packages here you can get. I went ahead and picked up the 50 count because the revolver I shoot these in is a 7-shot, so it didn't really make sense for me to pick up the other ones because one of them is a 12 count for $14.99. You can get a 5 count for $14.99 that comes with a few of the wax bullets themselves, so kind of like a starter pack there. And then the 50 pack was 40 bucks. And these these cases are reusable, unlimited uses, because they're not going to swell out and you have to resize them because there's no pressure involved with this here because you're only firing it off the primer. And what's special about these cases is the primer pocket's actually expanded out and milled out a little bit farther, so that allows you to take a large pistol primer here, and just go ahead and slip that into the pocket. And as you can see there, they just dump back out when you're done, which is one of the issues I have ran into with these. And that's because when you go to shoot this in a double action revolver, most of them's going to have this blast shield right here, which is canted away from the cylinder to allow for you to put the next for the cylinder to be able to come in and out. And the problem with that is when the round is sitting in this position, the primer can just fall out the back because, like I said, this is made for cowboy quick draw. This is made to practice quick drawing your revolver and shooting it without having to worry about accidentally shooting yourself in the leg with a live round. So my fix to that is some cheap clear tape here. Go ahead and take you a little bit of Scotch tape, cut you a piece off there, and you're just going to go ahead and stick that over the primer. Just press it on there, and that will keep your primer from falling out when it gets to that portion of the rotation in the cylinder. Now, that is one issue you can run into shooting these in a double action. Another issue I've ran into, and I feel like this will be the same problem in a single action, is since these cases are cut out for the primer just to sit down into them, when you fire it, the primer pops out a little bit sometimes, and that can jam the action up. So this can be a little bit finicky. Not a big deal, especially for how cheap you can actually shoot these for. We'll get into that in just a second. Let's go ahead and cover a little bit more of the cost here. I was talking about how much the cases themselves cost. So that is one cost. Like I said, I went ahead and picked up the 50 count. That was $40. And then the one other thing, or a few other things you're going to need here, is this little plunger here, and that is to allow you to go ahead and you just grab one of your wax bullets, put the tapered side down, and that's to allow it to start into the case. You're going to go ahead and push it with your finger, wipe the excess wax off, put the tool on it, and just press it down, and that properly seats the wax bullet into the right position in the case. And that's to give it a little bit of room in between the primer and the bottom, so it has a little bit of expansion room to get the wax bullet moving there. So that tool is something that you're going to need, and that was only, I think it was $19.99. So we're at $60 for the two things you actually have to make this work. And both parts we've talked about here, these cases and this tool, are obviously reusable. So that is a set cost. Once you have that, you're good. And you can get the wax bullets. You can get them in a 500 count for $14.99, a 1,000 count for $26, a 4,000 for $95, and a 6,000 for $129. So the wax rounds themselves are cheap. And the other thing you're going to need here from their website is I recommend going ahead and getting their Easy Out gun bore cleaner, and that is made to specifically strip the wax back out of your rifling. So that was 10 bucks. And then I went ahead and picked up their barrel cleaning brush set here. Not something you have to have. I just wanted a set of brushes that was only used with the wax to make sure that I wasn't putting wax back in when I was cleaning the gun after firing it regular. Not a big deal, just that's what I went ahead and did. So the stuff you have to have here is going to be the cases. Well, you don't even have to have the cases. You could actually get away with, if you have a reloading press, to just press the primers into the back of the case, which would actually make this a lot more fun if you are shooting it in double action. So you don't have to deal with that issue I mentioned earlier. And you just pick this up and the wax bullets and just go ahead and press them down in there. So that is another way you could use these. Would be pretty fun if you got a bunch of brass. Just go ahead and resize it, pick this up and drop you some wax bullets in it. And like I said, you do need large pistol primers for this. So how much you have in each round is how much you pick up the pistol primers for and the wax bullets. So we're gonna go ahead and base that off 1,000 rounds. 1,000 of these primers I found for around $100, so call that $100. And then these were 26 bucks. You do the math, comes out to around 12 cents a round, or 120 bucks for 1,000 rounds that you could fire through these cases. So that's pretty darn cheap, especially when you get into full center fire size cartridges here. And what's fun about these cartridges is you can get away with shooting them indoors somewhere like your garage or something. You're going to want to make sure it's well ventilated, because you are still setting the primer off, so you're going to have that gas coming out. So if you're going to shoot them in your garage, pop the door open, get a breeze going through there. But you can shoot them indoors relatively safely because they're moving quite slow, and the wax bullet itself is just going to disintegrate on the impact of something hard. So if you go back and watch my video, I have a short called Shooting Steel Plates Up Close, something like that. And that's actually me messing around with these, shooting a steel plate from about that far away. And when these hit, they just turn to dust. So they are reasonably safe to shoot indoors, as long as you make sure you got something in behind them that's going to stop them. Now, that's not to say that you don't have to still follow your normal safety rules. This is still a live firearm, so don't be dumb. Don't be buying these things, trying to shoot your buddies with them. It's still a legit gun. Do not point it at anyone. Not a good idea. You can end up doing an Alex Baldwin there, or whatever his name is, Baldwin, and accidentally, air quote, shoot someone. I mean, I air quote it because I don't know how you could accidentally shoot someone on a set, supposedly with fake rounds. So the fact that he had live rounds was real suspicious to me, but nevertheless, know what this video is about. Don't point the gun at anyone. It's not for that. But these little things are actually pretty accurate. We'll go ahead and head out to the range here, and I'll show me shooting a few bottles with these, just to kind of show you the accuracy you can expect out of these. We'll come back and talk about it a little bit more. Okay, got a few empty bottles set up here, about 5 or 6 yards. Let's go ahead and see what kind of accuracy we can get with these little wax bullets. Okay, that's all of them. As you see there, as long as you do your part, these little wax bullets are actually pretty accurate. Let's head back into the table, talk about this a little bit more. So as you can see there, as long as you do your part, these are decently accurate. Now, they're not going to be as consistently accurate as something such as a regular round, and that is because these little wax rounds are pretty lightweight, and you're relying on only the primer to fire them. So you might get mixed results with accuracy, but they're accurate enough you can plink bottles with, have a good time. So really, I just figured this would be something I'd go ahead and share, because once you get the cases, you get your tool, and you get all the stuff you need, the only consumables is the primers and the wax bullets themselves. And for 120 bucks, you could replenish 1,000 rounds of those, and that gives you plenty of plinking. And really, another thing I guess that you're good for, if you got someone that's getting into shooting, like a kid or your girlfriend or just somebody that's not used to recoil, there's absolutely no recoil with these at all. So this would be good, something to train with and just teach someone how to shoot a little bit with, you know, because of the fact there's no recoil. They're not super loud. You still need to wear hearing protection with them, just because the primer is pretty decently, but it's not loud enough that it's going to scare someone easily, I feel like. So these are definitely a good training tool for that as well, just to get someone into shooting. So I just figured I'd go ahead and share this with you guys. Something I've been messing with, having a good time with for years, and Figure somebody else might enjoy these as well. So that's all I had for today.
Okay, if you made it this far, I just want to say thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. If you're looking for more Fun and Gun right now, you can click one of the 2 recommended videos there. If you're looking for more Fun and Gun later, you can go ahead and click that there subscribe button. I sure would appreciate it. And if you're finding me from Facebook, go ahead and click that open app button at the top to make all that a lot easier, and I'll see you next time.